Hi there. Today we are continuing the Truthless War, or Mercenary War if you want, and we have reached the year 240 and a battle that is labeled Hippacritae. Now, this is a battle that they are really not sure where it took place. I think the designers of this scenario chose the name Hippacritae because it was said, I think it was Polybius who wrote in his history that after this battle the rebel army did retreat to a town named Hippacritae, so that was probably the nearest town of the battle site, but as I said, they really don't know the exact location for where this took place, so yeah, I'm not really sure if this was the Battle of Hippacritae or the Battle by Hippacritae or something. But anyway, there was a big battle happening, that's for sure. And this is quite an interesting thing happening here. If you watch the latest videos from this war, there has been some battles outside of Utica recently, and as you know, Hamilcar Barca was now commanding this force of the Carthaginians. Well, after the Utica campaigns, they have now they have been roaming around the river of Bagradas and negotiating with some of the cities that were pro-rebel to get back the allegiance of those guys to Carthage, and also some cities or some towns, villages, that have been taken back by force. So Hamilcar had been campaigning, let's say, between Carthago, the city, and Utica, and bringing back the countryside to Carthaginian control here. And the rebels, under Spendius, who was the leader of this particular army, he was watching close by to what Hamilcar were doing. None of the sides were really eager to battle. I guess they both sensed that they didn't have enough force to just overcome the enemy. So Spendius just did shadow Hamilcar here, maybe waiting for him to do a mistake, or actually he was applying a kind of what is called, he was harassing the Carthaginians with his cavalry. He had loads of Numidian cavalry in his camp, led by a nobleman called Narrabas from Nubia, Berber, and so he was able to harass the Carthaginians all the time, and didn't give Hamilcar an easy time here, and he probably had some problems with that and didn't have any real good countermeasures against that. Now, at one point, Hamilcar and his army went into this mountain valley, and probably it was closing to night because Hamilcar chose that, okay, we set a camp here. His aides de camp, if you will, if you can say so, by this time, they was not too keen of this idea of camping here because it was a dangerous place. They could be trapped there in this valley. So they say, no, please, we should get on and camp elsewhere. But Hamilcar still took the decision to stop here and camp. And one can wonder why he did it. I mean, Hamilcar was an experienced commander and army leader, so he should have known about these the dangers of camping in that valley with just a few exits. So I really wonder what went on in his mind there. Maybe he wanted to provoke the rebels to battle. I don't really know. But the thing is, they set up the camp there. Spendius from the rebel army, he saw this as an excellent opportunity to get Hamilcar and his army into a sack. And they, as expected, basically, they did close all the entrances or exits from that valley and set up their army opposite to Carthaginian and waiting for Hamilcar to... I mean, how he had now to do the next move, because otherwise they would just start starving in that valley with the army. So Spendius were just sitting and waiting in a good high ground position and just waiting for Hamilcar to do something. So if there was a battle to happen, Spendius for sure had the edge of that. Also, it's believed that Spendius had but a numerical advantage at least. So he had some 20,000 men, it's believed. We don't know the numbers of the Carthaginians here, and we really don't know what the numbers he got was, or what it consisted of, because of course he had his core army, and he also probably got some new recruits from Carthago. He probably also got some, he took a few prisoners from the previous campaigns, in the Utica campaigns, and he might have been boosted a bit by prisoners who leaped over to the Carthaginian side here after that battle of Utica. So, but it's still believed that his army was smaller than the rebel one here, because the rebels were at this location. We have Spendius and his crack mercenaries. You can see we have two heavy phalanx units here, medium heavy here. Then we have Autharitas, the Gaul, with his warriors, Gallic warriors and other troops here, probably Gallic skirmishers here as well. And then we have this group of units here, which I think is Libyans. So there were many Libyans now joining up with Spendius to join forces with him to crush the Carthaginians. So this was quite an impressive army Spendius could muster here. But of course Hamilcar had the edge of having his elephant corps. It was a weapon that Spendius didn't have, or the rebels didn't have, these elephant troops that were so crucial in these campaigns that Hamilcar had here. Anyway, Hamilcar was now trapped, and Spendius, he did send this Nubian nobleman I mentioned, Narvaez, around the forces and to the back of the Carthaginians, actually to that very exit or entrance to the valley where they came from. So that when the Carthaginians marched into the valley, Spendius sent Narvaez over there to guard that exit, so they couldn't escape that way either. And that was a big problem for Hamilcar. Now really interesting things started happening, because suddenly one night the Carthaginians observe a group of Nubians riding slowly into the valley, and they claim they come in peace here. Okay, so the Carthaginians were wondering, okay, what's this? And it turned out that Nubian prince Narvaez was with this group. Okay, so he wanted to speak with Hamilcar, and so they did. Narvaez entered the Carthaginian camp alone, and now they started to negotiate. So Naravas said that he was actually ready to walk over, or basically give his troops to Hamilcar. He would join forces with Hamilcar instead. So he was now, for some reason, ready to defect from the rebels and join the Carthaginian forces. And this must have been a big relief for Hamilcar, of course. First of all, now he actually had an exit out of the valley, and secondly, he now had 2,000 Nubian cavalrymen joining him here under Naravas, and that's the group we are seeing here on the Carthaginian side now. And Hamilcar was so eager to get this to become a reality, so he actually promised Naravas one of his daughters. I think it was Hamilcar's third daughter that later married with Naravas. So a parenthesis here is that Hamilcar, you know, this famous son of Hamilcar, Hannibal Barca, he will actually be the brother-in-law with Naravas later on, when Naravas was married with his sister. Anyway, so suddenly the tides has turned here. So Spendius, now seeing this happening, I don't know why, but maybe he lost his nerve or something, but he sensed that, okay, we need to do something here now. We still had the numerical advantage, so he actually offered battle to Hamilcar, and that it is. So there was a battle happening here. So for some reason he abandoned his guerrilla warfare. That was the word I was looking for earlier. Guerrilla warfare that he was executing before the battle. He abandoned that, and now there was a pitched battle to take place here, close by to Hippacritae. And that's the setup that we are seeing in this scenario. So, well, there's not that much known about the details of the battle, but apparently, as it also says in the historical background here, the elephants and the Naravas light Nubian cavalry were really doing big damage here, eventually routing the rebel army. And it said that 10,000 rebels were perished during this day, and also 4,000 others were captured. Among Hamilcar Barca actually showed mercy here, so he did let those live, and many of them actually joined the Carthaginian forces. Of those 4,000 captured. So the rebels were routed, and that's what I meant. They in the early, what I said is that they did retreat to Hippacritae, and that's probably the name why we got the name of this battle of labeled. So by that, let's check out the Borg Council. So we have the Carthaginian army led by Hamilcar Barca, and he will have 6 command cards and move first. The rebel army has Spendius as the overall commander with 4 command cards. So we have 2 card difference here. The battle will go on until we reach 5 victory banners, and there's no special rules. There's no terrain. It's an open plain. It's a pitch battle on a plain they found here somewhere. And let's check out the battle board then, and the forces. So starting with the rebels, we have the left flank. We have some light cavalry here, and this is probably the Libyan faction here on this left hand sector here, because we have these Libyan warriors here, or represented by this auxilia. We have some javelin throwers here, and we have some light cavalry. Could be also Nubians here, I'm not really sure. And here we have probably the Gauls. I don't know if all of these guys are Gauls, but at least the leader is, and the 2 warrior units here. And then we had the slingers and an auxilia. So Authoritas here is having his goals, maybe something else here, I'm not really sure, but yeah, these are the goals. And here we have Spendius himself with crack mercenary troops, some phalanx unit there, a light cavalry, some javelin throwers over there, and a medium heavy infantry unit here. So a wide range of different unit types here. And the Carthaginians under Hamilcar, we have their right hand flank, we have a cavalry flank here, 2 medium heavy cavalry. Probably those are Carthaginians from, yeah, you know, citizen cavalry. And then we have auxilia there, probably some militia from the city as well. An elephant unit in front of them. In the center section we have 3 medium heavies, troops from Carthago probably, maybe also some mercenaries who went over to Hamilcar. There we have Hamilcar himself. In front of them 2 elephant units and light infantry. And here we have Navarra's light cavalry corps, consisted of 3 units of light cavalry. So all in all, pretty good troops there as well. We have a few more blocks or units of rebels here compared to the Carthaginians. And well, let's just start the fun then. Or maybe a word or two about some battle plans here. Well, Carthaginians first, maybe. Well, we had the elephants, and well, that should be the main thrust, I guess, here. And if we can get the elephants against those heavies, that would be really nice. Also, attacking the warriors or medium hit. I mean, and the elephant should hit somewhere here where we have the heavier troops of the rebels. That's where they do most of the damage. So those 2 would for sure be here. That elephant, I don't know, there's so many lights in front of them so they can be routed really soon. Maybe we should drift those guys over here as well. And on the other hand, that elephant together with those medium heavy cavalry there could do some real damage over here as well. So, well, let's see what happens. And for Navarra's cavalry, well, if they could act as some kind of anvil here, stopping the guys here from retreating by running around the flanks, and then the elephants hit, that could be really, really devastating for the rebels. Let's see if we can pull that through. That would be a cool thing to do, actually. For the rebels then, well, I think yeah, the infantry is stronger here. We are much stronger in terms of skirmish troops as well. We have slinger, we have loads of lights and auxilia as well. And if you think about it, we have the famous light cavalry over there of Navarras, but all in all we also have 3 light cavalry here, but they are on 2 flanks, so they're not that concentrated. And the bad thing is we don't have any heavier cavalry here, it's only lights. So how to play with the rebels then? Well, I guess we need to settle for the Carthaginian onslaught and just try to survive and hit back where we can. I mean, we have some very heavy troops, so we could hit them, and we know how fragile those elephants are. So if we can get a lot of javelins and even melee attacks on those elephants, we could win the day by that. So yeah, that's the plan, I guess, for the rebels. So by that, now we're ready to start. and it's the Carthaginians who go first. We're gonna bring up the cards in slot A and B and see what we have there. We have a double time and we have an order 3 unit center, and in slot B we have light troops. Okay, so let's see what they're gonna play. Okay, so that's the tactics card or lowest order order count. So either it's a double time or it is the 3 unit center then. It's one of those two cards we need to play. Well, we don't... I mean, we could play the 3 unit center and attack with the elephants, but those elephants will not reach anything. That could reach one of the lights, but that's not good enough, I guess. No. We could of course rush up with Hamilcraft's medium. By the double time, I mean we could rush up some mediums here. Is it worth it? I don't really know. I think I'll just go with the 3 in center then, and you know, I will just move up the medium heavy infantry here. So I'm gonna order those 3, move them just like that into the gap of the elephants there. So not a real big thing happening there, but so that was slot A. Okay, we have another 3 in center coming up for the Carthaginians. Now the rebels. Oh, let's see these two as well. It's a line command and order 4 units left. And we actually roll the same result here. So it's gonna be one of these two then. And well, line command. That could order a few troops, but I think if I could order 4 units left, I could close the gap here and have a bigger line. If I can play the line command later on, we could have all these attached into one command, and that would be nice. So I will actually play the 4 units left. There's also another reason for that, because I could start throwing some javelins against those elephants now. That's nice. And so I'm gonna order those guys, and let's bring up the light cavalry into action also. So these guys moves here. The light cavalry moves up to harass. And these light cavalry actually move up to harass that medium heavies, because, you know, if we can roll a flag, we are pretty good there. We could almost eliminate those guys by rolling a flag. And these guys, they just move up 1 hex to close the gap here, so we have a big line. The bad thing is we have that guy no more in line, but well, hey, that's okay. So where to start? Well, let's start with these lights who throw their javelins against the elephant units. And that's a miss. It's a blue. The next one I will continue from here. 1 die against that medium heavy cavalry. Another miss. Too bad. So I have 2 targets, or 2 interesting targets with these units. I could continue against those, or I could try to get that elephant. Well, I think I go for the medium heavy cavalry actually. I want that flag. And we got it. Perfect. At last these paid out, so we got a flag. These guys are not supported, so they need to go 3 back. 1 they can, but now I cannot retreat anymore. The second hex and the third hex will bring these 2 blocks as casualties. Good one there. I know I'm a bit dangerously out with these lights because, okay, they can evade, but if those guys, for instance, throw the javelins and get the flag on me, I'm almost dead because I cannot retreat the 4 hexes I need. These guys do have a nice gap to retreat over there, but I'm a bit afraid of these guys' position here, but okay, that's how it is. So the rebels will get their second, or their new card, not their second card, but new card. And then it's the Carthaginians. Let's see how they respond now. It's an A, B or C. Let's see what they have in slot C. Oh, come on. Okay, 3 units right. So we have a double time, 3 center, order light, or 3 units right. And we could hit back here now with the 3 units right, for instance. Should we? What would happen if we order lights? Well, we could also move up and harass with Naravas. That's cool. And 3 units center, I don't think I'm gonna play that now actually. And the double time, well, we could hit those slingers with the double time of our medium heavy actually. And we could also hit these guys, but they are able to evade. Now I think gonna be 3 over here, or I'll play the lights, and I will roll for it. So 1 to 3, I will play the order lights. 4 to 6, I will play 3 units on the Carthaginian right hand side. And that is, so 3 units over here. So I'm gonna do a counter attack here. So these guys will throw the javelins against those, I guess, and I will also order my cavalry. So these guys will move up just to scare away these guys, and actually 1, 2, 3, I can actually block those guys from retreating. So that light cavalry went a bit too far actually for their own health. So that's let's see how this turns out. That was maybe a bit too bold of me to move them so far away, but I was hoping to get that hit, you know. And they did some good job. They made this cavalry to go down to one block. So I guess it's okay. So let's start here. We're not going to move those guys. They will throw the javelins against that light. That's 2 dice. A green and a flag, and I think that's enough. First a hit, and then they need to retreat because they are not supported. They need to go 4 back, and that's not a chance. So that was a perfect roll of javelins and a perfectly executed attack by getting the cavalry in behind while these were showering them with javelins. So we got the Carthaginian first banner. So these guys are now freed up to attack these lights. They will of course evade or try to. So we're gonna roll 3 dice. Hoping for greens. Oh, rolling good for the Carthaginians now. 2 hits. So these guys take 2 hits and then they evade back here. These cannot follow since they did evade. And another evasion attack. So those light cavalry there will retreat or evade, but I'm gonna roll for it. And this is crazy. Can you believe it? 3 hits. So the Carthaginians catch these rebels and got another victory banner. That's what an amazing roll by that decimated cavalry there, I must say. So things are looking good for the Carthaginians. Already 2 banners. Wow. Very good rolls there, lucky rolls. I must say. Okay, rebels. Let's see how they can handle this situation. Another of these. So it's gonna be a line command then. Let's see what happens if you only have one. If there's only one face-up card in display, flip anyone. Okay. So I can face up one card actually. That's good. So we're gonna face up slot C. Okay, that's order mounted. Too bad we just got the mounted killed there, so we only have one left. That's that guy. And that's not the crucial part of the battlefield right now, so I will play the line command anyway. So line command it is. So now we're gonna order a big bunch of troops here. We cannot reach the enemy yet with our warriors, so I don't think we're gonna move those guys. We might move them sideways to bring an even more solid line here. So let's see, we're gonna throw a lot of javelins here, and yeah, I will not do that much movement actually. No. Basically I will move, as I said, to close the line here. I like that. And the other guys will stay put to throw the javelins. So let's just start from the edge here. It's 2 dice against that medium heavy. And that's a flag enemy. So bad roll actually there. 1, 2, 3, because those guys get away and these guys don't have a target. So not that good of a roll. We still have these guys, slingers, and they will try to harass that elephant and stress it now. Let's see if they are lucky with one roll at least. Poor rebels. No, they missed these guys too, so nothing there. And right now nothing goes the rebel way. Okay, we got another one in slot A. We got the Carthaginians again. And this time it's slot C. So we're gonna face that card up. So we're gonna play either it's slot C or the least order, lowest order count. So that would be 3 in the center then. So it's 2 in the center or 3 in the center basically. And well, we know we have some good center cards coming up, so you know, I'm thinking of moving my elephants into position for the final charge. I say final because we need 3 more banners and we could get it with a good elephant charge, you know. Yeah, so I'm gonna play 3 in the center. And I'm gonna position my elephants ready for the charge. So I'm gonna trigger these guys. They go there. These guys go there. And these guys go there. Okay, we need to survive with the elephants 1 more turn and then we can launch the attack. Let's see if we can pull that through with the Carthaginians. We're gonna replace the slot in A and then it's the rebels. Okay, it's a D or E. Let's see what they got there. It's a medium troops or a counterattack. That would be 3 in the center then. Okay, but you know what? We have the medium troops, that's the warriors. And I'm thinking of, should we even rush up with the Gauls now? You know, we see the elephants aligning to attack, so maybe we should take the opportunity to hit them before they hit us. What do you think of that? I think that could be a good thing. Otherwise we would play the counterattack, and that would be 3 units center. That would also give my warriors the opportunity to attack, to be honest, so that's not a bad one. We could also throw the javelins here. Maybe that's even better, actually. On the other hand, should we use up the counterattack for a 3 in the center? I don't know. But this is a critical time, actually. I rolled for the Carthaginians earlier, so I'm gonna roll for the rebels as well. So I'm gonna play either the... Yeah, I mean, it's a D or E. So 1 to 3, 4 to 6. Okay, it's a counterattack. So it's 3 in the center. I think that could be... Well, you could argue that this is not a good card to counterattack, but as this is a kind of a critical situation now, I'm gonna be a bit more bold here. So I'm gonna also order these slingers here. And the warriors, they will now do what they can against those elephants. These guys don't move. They're gonna throw their stones against that elephant, probably. Let's see. So let's start over here. So the elephants, they are immune to sword symbols, and that's basically it, I guess. So we're gonna be a bit lucky with the rebels now, but we got the 4 dice because we are full strength warriors, and we need to remember that Authoritas is here adjacent to us, so we will also hit with the leaders. So this is really an important attack. Let's see. Come on now. And if I didn't say that, it's those guys who attack first. And we got the elephant. 2 hits and it's down. Phew. And the thing is, we can now advance and do a bonus attack. And I will for sure do that. So the second attack is my target now. And this time we got 1 attack hit, because those are not hits against elephants. I think they can ignore all swords. I'm gonna check that. Or was it only the first one? Oh, I think it's all. All sword hits are not counted. So 1 hit on the elephant, because we are still adjacent to Authoritas. So that elephant block goes down, but now they will hit back. There were no flags rolled, so there was no trampling effect here. So we're gonna roll 4 dice from the elephant as well, and this is dangerous. This is dangerous business, because you know we're gonna re-roll all this sword symbols rolled by that elephant. So that warrior unit is in danger now. The elephant is adjacent to a leader, but they cannot get any benefits from leaders. So these are actually misses, even though Spendius is there. Oh, sorry, Hamilcar is there. But anyway, we got 2 hits against that warrior. Pretty cool. No flag, so the warrior stands where it is. But we still have Authoritas himself, who rushes in with a second charge of the Gauls, and another 4 dice coming in. We need 1 hit. We got 2 actually, this was a red. So that elephant goes down. And we got the second banner for the rebels. Now it's 2 even score here. And you know what? Authoritas will rush in and attack Hamilcar himself with his Carthaginian citizens there. And it's still 4 dice, and we still have a leader with us. Hamilcar can though ignore 2 flags. So we got one hit and one flag, which is not enough. Even if Hamilcar would go down now in the leader loss check, these guys can stand their ground because they can still ignore one flag being supported. But let's check what happens with Hamilcar first. He's fine, but he took some hits there. So now they will battle back, 4 dice. That's 2 hits against Authoritas Gauls. And now we're gonna check what happens with the Gallic leader. He's fine. Okay, some pretty intense action here. They took some hits, but they got that immediate elephant threat eliminated there, destroying both elephants by fierce charges by the Gauls. That was brave of them to charge elephants, actually. We are not ready though, because we have the slingers who will attack that elephant with their stones. Let's see. But unfortunately we did miss that elephant completely, so that's a dangerous one now. They could just hit the flank of our Gauls and mop these up. Okay, pretty cool counterattack by the rebels anyway. So now it's the Carthaginians again. A, B or C. I think that's a good roll because now they can choose from all the displayed cards here. It's a double time. We could get in with all our medium heavy infantry actually. And we could order light troops, or we could order 4 units on this flank. But I will go for the, or 2 in the center, sorry. We could also move 2 in the center forward. But I think not. Or who could that? Well, that elephant could reach actually this. Here's the thing. We need 3 banners. We could pretty much get it, you know, because if the elephant rushes here, he could be successful in eliminating these units with some good rolls. I know that's a stretch, but remember these guys are not supported, so we could get them. And if we then order also Hamilcar, he could by himself eliminate both these units. That's not too far stretch actually. The second thing would be to use the double time and instead rush in with all our medium heavies to attack these 2 Gauls. That's a more cautious, but it cannot. Well, it could yield us the victory if we also get Authoritas as a casualty, but that's, as I said, a bit far-fetched, but a bit more cautious move from the Carthaginians. So let's roll to see how aggressive they want to be. So if I roll 1 to 3, I'm gonna go for the double time, meaning I'll just move up my mediums, attack those Gauls. But if I roll 4 to 6, I will instead order 2 units in the center, this card, and then I will go in with the elephants, attacking these, hoping to get that guy, and then Hamilcar will just attack first this one, and if it manages to pull through here, we can attack the second one as well. And that could actually give us 3 banners at the end of the game. So let's see what they do. That's a 2, so we actually go with a double time, so a bit more cautious. Double time it is. And that will be this group of units. And where should we put ourselves? I want to get the extra boost from having Hamilcar adjacent. Well, actually I cannot. Well, let's do like this then. These guys moves there. Hamilcar moves there. These guys go sideways as well. Something like that. And let's start on this flank, attacking those guys. It's 4 dice, and we have Hamilcar adjacent to us. So this should be a okay mopping up job. Yeah, 2 hits, and this warrior unit goes down, meaning we get another Carthaginian victory banner. They have 3 now. I could advance, and let's do that. And then I take the other one, not Hamilcar, but his adjacent body there. And that's another 2 hits. These warriors go down. We got the 4th banner. And you know what? If Authoritas now would be in a casualty, it's over. And he did. Authoritas did what he was expected to do, I guess. He fell in the ranks of his soldiers, and by that we got the 5th banner. And pretty impressive and fast victory by Hamilcar's Carthaginians here. A good one, actually. Pretty solid victory. Well, granted, we got some perfect rolls by the Carthaginians and some bad rolls by the rebels, but anyway, there were no dangers really against the Carthaginians about this victory. Okay, they got a bit stirred up when their elephants got eliminated, and in the long run that's a disaster, of course, because those guys, the elephants, are fragile and not that easily replaced by new war elephants, right? It takes time to train those. And well, so the Gauls did their job, but they went down in the process, and since Authoritas also fell in that battle, that's the end of the effort of the rebels here. So they now take their belongings and retreat back to Hippacritae, as in history. Even though I don't think Authoritas did fall in this battle in history, he did actually live on for some time and do some more battles, and he did actually some really bad atrocities later on. He tortured and killed some Carthaginians, but later paid with his life for it. But anyway, in this alternative history, he did fall in the battle of Hippacritae. So, by that, well, what else to mention? Well, one thing is interesting. Navaras didn't even take part in the battle. I was thinking of activating him sooner or later, because we had these light troops, remember, on the Carthaginian side, and I could really consider to move him forward. You know, if I could get in some good javelin attacks against these, I mean, they don't take that many flags, so they will soon be out of the board and then yielding another victory banner for the Carthaginians. So that's a fragile one, and Navaras would have been perfect to do that. Then we could start harassing these heavy phalanxes here, who just stand here waiting for things to happen, but all the action was in the center and on the rebel left hand side here. So anyway, this was a good victory for Hamilcar, though a costly one, because he lost very many elephants in this battle. But the rebellion is not over. We will continue with the battles of the mercenary wars. I think we have 2 more to go, so we are a bit more than halfway through this war. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in, and meet you again next time when we see a new showdown between the rebels and the Carthaginians. Bye bye.